that we wanted to present to our viewers, Lupin. Now, the company reported a good set of Q3 numbers, came in ahead of street expectations, margin the highest in the last 10 quarters at 20%, India growth strong at 13.4%, US sales came in at above $200 million. To talk more about the way forward, my colleague Ekta caught up with the management. Listen in.
We've been working towards this for quite a few years, and finally we see it panning out. You said to focus on the others, but I do think that one of the big changes was the U.S. business staying north of that 200 million and the quality of the products in that market as well. I'll let Vinita add on that part, but I think India is coming into its own. We've been doubling down. We added 1,300 representatives in the last 12 months. In India, we've added 7 divisions, I believe. There's another 2 divisions that we're going to be adding shortly. And the idea is to double down and focus on growth. We've launched, I believe, 21 products in the last 9 months. We've been the #1 company across the sector in new product launches. So it's just good growth as expected in India. In fact, I think we're coming out of a period where growth was slower, and I would expect this double-digit growth to continue. The market goes up and down, but we've always talked about 20-30% growth ahead of the market. That'll continue. Markets like India are doing really well, driven by our inhalation portfolio. So the first product, Lupin, that we launched, is doing extremely well in pretty much every meaningful country in Europe. And it's become our biggest product in Europe. Obviously, inhalation across the company has become very large. 25% of total company revenues, 40% of the US, the largest product out of Europe. So good growth all around. Everything is growing. If you see other markets, everything is growing. South Africa has been growing very nicely. That again is coming out of that lull back to that growth. So we see growth all around. I would still maintain that the big change is the US in terms of maintaining that growth and very high quality of sales in the US.
Well, Nilesh, I have to say I haven't heard you sound so optimistic. Fun quarter, growth all around. So definitely good to hear you sound so optimistic in terms of numbers after a long time. But you did mention the US sales. Vinita, I'm going to come to the US now. $200 million is what you did this quarter as well, above that level. But it was flat on a Q-on-Q basis. So is there some pressure which is seeping in on a sequential basis in terms of the US business, say when it comes to key drugs such as Spiriva generic, Suprep, where you will probably see additional competition?
Yeah, so as we had guided even in the last quarter, we had expected some normalizing of large product launch like tiotropium, Spiriva. We launched in Q2, so we were expecting, channel normalization as the substitution rate goes up. Very pleased to see the ramp up of prescription share of that product. We are now above 30% share in the last 4 weeks, so it's ramping up very nicely. So no real pressures. I mean, it's really what we expected. So the baseline business, in fact, was extremely strong during the quarter. And the flu season products helped contribute to, offset some of the channel inventory impact of tiotropium from compared to Q2. So. It's been a very solid quarter for us, with apart from sustaining the revenue level, improving our profitability, in fact, quarter after quarter.
That's Lupin for you, but